Hello students, very good morning to all of you. I hope you all are staying fit and healthy and taking care of your health. Now, today, continuing with the syllabus, I am going to explain you the second poem of your third unit, that is the Ball poem written by John Berryman. So here first of all I'll give you a short introduction of the poet John Berryman. John Berryman was an American poet and scholar who is best known for the book named Dream Songs, which has a sequence of 385 poems, and it was published in the year 1969. He won Pulitzer Prize for this book, The Dream Songs, and he also won the National Book Award. So this was a short introduction of the poet. Now let us discuss about the poem, or what the poem is about. As the title says, the ball poem, so we can understand that the poem revolves around the ball. And through this ball, the poet is giving a great message to the readers. Here he is saying that in this poem, the poet John Berryman has described the reality of life, which everyone has to face one day. He has touched the topic of how to stand up against the miseries and sorrows of life. In our life, as we grow up with the passage of time, we experience the loss of many things which are very close to us. So the poet, through this poem, is asking us to cope up with all the losses that we bear in our life, and to live a happy life. So now let's see to the poem. The poem begins like this: that what is the boy now who has lost his ball? What is he to do? I saw it go, merrily bouncing down the street, and then merrily over. There it is in the water. So here the word merrily means happily. The ball is said to be happy and cheerful in the company of the boy, and the word bouncing means jumping up and down. So ball is jumping up and down happily. So here I'll tell you what the poetic device has been used in these lines by using the word merrily, what the poet wants to say. First, let us understand the stanza. In this stanza, the poet is talking about a boy who has lost his ball. He is playing with a ball, and suddenly the ball bounces on the street, and then it finally falls into the river. And then he wants to know about the poet. Here I saw it go shows that the poet is standing near to the boy, and he saw the ball falling into the water, and he wants to know about the boy, what is the reaction about the reaction of the boy, because he has lost his ball. Further, he asks to himself that what this boy will do after losing this ball. So, and here in these lines, the ball symbolizes the childhood memories of the boy. The ball is the valuable possession of the boy, and he sees it bouncing down the street and landing in the water. And this ball has been with him over a long time, so he is very closely connected to this ball and has many memories associated with it, and so it forms an integral part of his childhood memories. It also implies that the boy's innocence is being replaced slowly by the experience of life, when he shall be losing and gaining many things. It may also mean the startup of his gaining maturity and losing his childhood. So here this is the main essence, or this is the main thing that the poet wants to say through these lines. Now let's see to the poetic devices or the literary devices used in the poem. The first literary device is anaphora. Anaphora, what is anaphora? It is the use of repeated words in two or more lines. So here, what is the boy what, and merrily bouncing, merrily is repeated twice, what is repeated twice. So anaphora has been used, and we can say repetition also, because this word is repeated in a same line, what. So repetition also has been used in this stanza. And a third poetic device that is used is assonance, that is the use of vowel sound. So in the very first line, boy now who has lost, so O is prominent and it is appearing in many words continuously. So assonance is being used. Fourth poetic device is imagery. Here the poet creates an image of the ball bouncing merrily in the street. So because ball is an inanimate object, but here the poet has made a picture of that ball bouncing merrily in these lines. So the poet has beautifully used the poetic device imagery. Now the second stanza says, no use to say, oh there are other balls, an ultimate shaking grief fixes the boy as he stands rigid. Rigid means fixed. Trembling, staring down. Trembling means shaking with fear. Staring down all his young days into the harbor. Harbor is the dock or the port where the boats come and stand. Where his ball went, I would not intrude. Intrude means interfere on him. A dime, another ball is worthless. Now he senses first responsibility. So here the word dime means it is the currency of America, that it means 10 cents, and it is like the pesos that we have in a country, in the currency. So 10 cents forms a dime. And here worthless means valueless or useless. Now in these lines the poet says that there is no benefit of consoling the boy by saying that he will get another ball, because he has other balls too. He can buy a new ball. He says so because the boy is feeling very sad and he is completely surrounded by sorrow after he loses his ball. He is sad because all the memories of the childhood days went down the harbor with the ball, that the ball which has fallen into the river. The child has many memories of the past associated with that ball. So he is very sad on losing the ball. Here the poet says that the boy is very sad as the ball which has now gone into the water reminds him of those sweet memories of the times that he owned it. And this loss is unbearable for him as he is grief stricken. He is very sad. The poet says that he can't even tell the boy to take some money from him in order to buy another ball. And he says so because the new ball will not bring the sense of belonging to the boy, and he would not be happy to purchase or to buy another ball. Further, the poet says that the time has come for the boy to learn the responsibility of taking care of his things. So, it's a very beautiful thing that the poet has cited in this stanza. Then now we will see to the literary devices that have been used. Only one literary device is there, dominant over here, that is repetition. The word ball has been repeated many times in this in the stanza. So repetition has been used in this stanza. Now we will see to the third stanza. The third stanza says, in a world of possessions, people will take balls. Balls will be lost always. Little boy, and no one buys a ball back. Money is external. He is learning well behind his desperate eyes. Desperate means hopeless, because now he do not hope to get the ball back, but he desperately wants, he is longing for that ball to come back to him. The epistemology of laws. Epistemology is the Greek word, and it has been derived from the word name episteme, which means knowledge. The epistemology of laws, that means the knowledge of laws, how to stand up, knowing what every man must one day know, and most know many days how to stand up. Very beautiful lines. Now here it has a very deep meaning. Here the poet says that the boy has to learn that in this materialistic world many of his belongings will be lost, and he should learn to bear those losses in life. And the poet personifies the ball as his belongings, be it worldly things or relationships he is in possession of. So he says that he has to learn to live without them, no matter what. And he says no one can buy back such things for him. The poet said so because, according to him, money can't buy you everything. If it does buy you some materialistic things, still it will not be able to buy the sense of belongingness. He says that the boy is learning how to stand up, how to cope up with the loss of things. This means that the boy is trying to learn the real truth of life, which states that you have to accept the miseries of life and stand up again. This is the truth which everyone has to learn in his or her life. The harsh truth of standing up against the odd miseries of life that everyone has to bear. Now let's see to the literary devices that have been used in these lines. Now the first literary device is alliteration. Here the use of be at the start of the two consecutive words. Be is repeated. For example, buys a ball back. Here be is repeated in all the three words. So alliteration has been used by the poet. Second is assonance, the use of vowel E. For in the line, he is learning well behind his desperate eyes. E is repeated in E is prominent in all the words. So therefore assonance has been used. Repetition is being used. Ball word is repeated. So this is all. These are the various poetic devices used in the poem, the main poetic devices. And as I told you that the poem does not have any rhyme scheme. It follows the blank verse. So I hope you all have understood this poem clearly and understood the theme of the poem.